How are we doing? And welcome back to another video. This is the Fighters Forecast. This is Matthew speaking. I just shared all my passwords and shit with Shees, aka Christos. He's gonna be posting this video soon. And pretty much our passion, guys. If you haven't seen us before, we just love to break down fights. We love fighting. It's our passion. It's both our passions. There's nothing else we'd rather do on a Saturday, evening after dinner than to sit down, relax, drink a couple of beers, get some stuff going, and just sit down and watch the fights. And we love it. We live for it. Every Saturday we are together, and we love, love, love watching the UFC. I am also the regional Rain Man. I love the Dana White Contender Series fights, and I also like the PFL fights. So on this channel, I will be breaking down every single week of Dana White Contender Series matches, as well as UFC matches. I am kind of the more UFC nut crazy guy out of the two, I'd say. I think he'd say something else, but I am breaking down both the Dana White Contender Series and the UFC. So if you guys did not see my last video on the Dana White Contender Series, we went 4-1. We sniped Radley De Silva as our underdog play, and we had the lock symbol beside Chimaev, which we could be talking about later in this card here, which is absolutely insane. We got burned on the one fight. It was Christopher Ewart against Yuri Panfarov. Ewart did not look good at all. Yuri Panfarov was improved, but this really came down to Ewart just not looking like who he normally was. He looked terrible. He looked slow. He looked fat. Christopher Ewart looked terrible walking into the cage and in the cage. He should not get another chance in Dana White's Contender Series. But moving on to this absolute banger of a card. This is probably, like, on paper, one of my favorite cards I've ever seen, to be honest. This is top 3 cards I think I'm ever going to watch, name value wise. There's so many underrated matchups. I'm just literally drooling over it. Pause. But this card contains some of the most high level and some of the most close matchups you could ever make in the UFC. DDP versus Chimaev. I think Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates is going to be a striker's delight. MVP Jared Kennedy, they're going to throw bombs, guys. Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico. We're going to see how good Aaron Pico truly is. And we got some contenders, some prospects, some hype trains of tenants on this card. I cannot fucking wait for this card. It's about 15 fights, and I'm just pumped. So here's my breakdown, guys. If I'm a little bit tired, I just got off of work. I am gassed right now, but couldn't give a fuck. To be honest, we're going to break down every single fight, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. And without the further ado, we will get right into this card, starting from the bottom and working our way up to the top. First fight of the night, we got Albi Idris against Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales, I'll start with him. He is a wrestle-heavy fighter. Joseph Morales is great in the grappling departments, but he lacks the striking to really separate himself in this matchup. Albi Idris is actually a very well-rounded fighter, and he is literally Asu Amabayev. He reminds me of Asu Amabayev so much. The spinning attacks, he's so complete. Idris Amabayev's not gonna fucking lose this fight. Joseph Morales, is better cardio, I'd say, in my opinion. Like, if Albi Idris wants to throw his spinning techniques and he gets caught in a transition and Joseph Morales takes his back, he can maybe run along or hold him against the cage for a decision. I don't see it happening, though. Albi Idris is way too good in the grappling department to get you down, and he loves the ground and pound. I have Albi Idris in this matchup. I think he's just that much better than Joseph Morales, and this is, the Ultimate Fighter finale in the 125 division. Next fight, we have Rodrigo Cinzanato against Danil Danchenko. Guys, this is actually a pretty hard matchup to break down. I am on the Ukraine side, though. Let me tell you why. Danil Danchenko, I love his striking. People might not say this guy's striking is great. For me, he's very awkward and he's very clean in his striking. It's hard to see where the punches are coming from. Danil Danchenko, I think he lands heavy on this guy. And don't get me wrong, Rodrigo Cezinado has fought the better level of competition, but it's just not that much better than Danilo Danchenko. And from what I've seen, you know, on the Ultimate Fighter, um, I think Danilo Danchenko wins this fight simply because his striking is way too good and it's unorthodox and it's just something you've never really seen before. I love Danilo Danchenko in this matchup and I will pick him. Next fight, we have Karina Silva against Deonna Barbosa. Guys, on this channel, on my channel, on our channel, we don't break down women's fights because there was one card and there was one girl in specific, Victoria Dudakova. I think she's had that girl in about 4 different lays. Now I know you could call him a retard and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, putting her in 4 different lays?" She was fighting Sam Hughes, guys, an 8-6 Sam Hughes against an 8-0 Victoria Dudakova, who looked so complete up towards that fight and she shit the bed. So guess what? Right then we made a pact to never fucking break down a women's fight again, to never bet on a women's fight again. That's why if you see our picks, we don't even include women's fights because half the fucking time the dog wins and there's no finishes and it's no fun. I'm not trying to be no sexist motherfucker right now. That's just what we do on this channel. If you don't fucking like it, lick the fat one, to be honest. It is what it is. We're here to break down men's MMA. It is what it is. Next fight, we have a banger. We have Nursultan Ruzaboyev against Brian Battle. Guys, she sits very high on Brian Battle, but I am very high on Nursultan Ruzaboyev. Brian Battle, he is a jiu-jitsu guy at heart. Brian Battle has shown he is better. He's getting better in the striking department, in the striking realm. The last couple of fights, he's been boring though. He's kind of just holding guys against the cage. He's trying to bully them as he's the bigger fighter. But guess what? In this matchup against Nursultan Ruzaboyev, he's not the thicker, he's not the taller, and he's not the longer fighter at all. He is not going to be able to bully Nursultan Ruzaboyev against the fence, which means one thing: they will be striking. Ruzaboyev is longer. That right hand is a sniper. And Ruzaboyev can complete open mat takedowns. I think he is the better fighter anywhere in this matchup. I do not get the odds, how he's a plus 140. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. I think Brian Battle gets KO'd in this matchup. I think Ruzaboyev will get him tired in the first round, second round, and then he lands the couple shots, the nice little strikings, the 1 and the 2 and the straight right will connect to Brian Battle's fucking dome piece, and Nursultan Ruzaboyev will win by knockout. Give me the dog in this matchup. Next, we have Edson Barbosa against Jakar Close. This is a good matchup that the matchmakers have made. Edson Barbosa is 40 years old. Jakar Close is 37. Edson Barbosa, we know who this guy is. He's fought every single person in that 145 division. Edson Barbosa is the staple, is the gatekeeper of that division. He's very complete on the feet. He has great striking, great kicks. Great spinning attacks and great volume as well. Edson Barbosa. Not too long ago, you guys got to remember, Edson Barbosa went to a 5-round decision with Lerone Murphy. Now you might go, "Oh, Lerone Murphy is just so boring. He never finished anybody." Which, it's true. It's fair. Lerone Murphy is boring, but he is one of the most technical fighters that I've laid my eyes on in the 145 division. I will chill for that for now because he is on the upper side of the card. But Edson Barbosa, the striking is too clean. Now, people are on Jakar Close here as the underdog. I'm not personally. Jakar Close, I think, is overrated. I remember he had that slam. Um, I forgot who he fought, but he slammed some guy on the mat that was trying to pull up an armbar. I just don't like Jakar Close. I don't think he's that good. I think he just fought Joel Alvarez and got raped. I think Edson Barbosa is just better. I think Edson Barbosa is cleaner. He's faster. He's more tenacious. And I think Edson Barbosa gets this job done. Um, People are saying, "Oh, Jakar Close is like, he's looking so much younger." He's 3 years younger. They're both old. They're both like really, really old. The age does not make that much of a difference when they're both at the end of their careers. Edson Barbosa is the better striker. I don't think Jakar Close will turn into Nurmagomedov. I have Edson Barbosa in this matchup. Next fight, we have Alexander Hernandez against Chase the Gooner Hooper. Guys, Alexander Hernandez is a pretty complete fighter, but he's hit or miss. Alexander Hernandez is like Paul Craig. Either he's the worst fighter in the world and he has no fight IQ and he makes the wrong decisions, or he's the best fighter in the world and he can mix it up and he can really, have the whole aspect of MMA in his game plan in the fight. That is Alexander Hernandez. He's really hard to bet against or bet on because you don't know which Alexander Hernandez is going to show up in the fight. He's well rounded. That's all I really got to say about Alex Hernandez. Chase Hooper, I love this kid, man. He's a fucking monster. He looks like he's 16 years fucking old. But Chase Hooper's a fucking monster, and he'd fuck anybody up there talking shit about him. Chase Hooper has a phenomenal jiu-jitsu game. He has great grappling, and his striking is underrated as he dropped to Vishalov Borshev. That fight really, really made me take notice of Chase Hooper. Everyone's hyping up Vishalov Borshev in that matchup. Oh, he's a fucking one of the best kickboxers, one of the best strikers in the division. Chase Hooper dropped him and then subbed him. He didn't just take him down to Magomedov him and sub him. He dropped him on the feet, outclassed him on the ground. Chase Hooper is a problem. Chase Hooper wins this matchup. I think he wants to wrestle Hernandez. He can do it. If he wants to strike, he can do it. I think Chase Hooper is the better fighter wherever this matchup goes. So give me Chase Hooper in this fight. Next fight, we have Jessica Andrade against Lupita Godinez. Guys, Jessica Andrade, Lupita Godinez. Not betting it. Don't know. I would pick Lupita Godinez. That's just me. Not betting it. Not touching it. Not breaking it down. Let me get some water for this next fight. Next fight. Bagdasar Surzakayev against Eric Nolan. Does that ring a bell, guys? If you watched my last video, Bagdasar Surzakayev was fighting, and he was fighting Talha. Now, if you guys watched that video, I'm gonna pretend like everyone that's watching this didn't. I know I probably have only 2 views, so don't make fun of me in the comments. But I said Bagdasar Surzakayev is a fucking problem. He is a prospect. Bagdasar Surzakayev is complete at only 24 years old. He is from Chechnya. He does train with Hamzat Chimaev, and he showed it in that Dana White Contender Series. Matthias Talha was supposed to be an absolute killer in the grappling department, and Surzakayev just kind of shrugged him off and said, "You fucking suck." They separated for a little bit of time. He picked his shot, and he had a beautiful teep kick up the middle, just right in the liver. Good night. Eric Nolan, he's fought nobody good. If this line is remotely even close, like minus 200, minus 300, Bagdasar Surzakayev will be in a lot of my parlays. This is my hype train in the 185 division. Please keep your eye on him. At only 24 years of age, Bagdasar Surzakayev is the real deal. You will see soon. I've been right on a lot of hype trains I've had in the 135. Merab Dvalishvili. Believe me if you want. It does not matter to me. I was on Merab Dvalishvili when he fought Morales. I had him against Peter Yan. At 145, I've been on Jean Silva ever since that 145 match in the Contender Series against Kevin Vallejos. I've been on him. 55, my hype train was BSD. It got derailed, but I got to keep it real. 170, I didn't really have a hype train, to be honest. I don't really have any great hype trains in the 170 division. I'm not going to lie. Oh, Michael Morales. That's not me. I don't do that. I don't lie. 185. Dricus du Plessis. I was on him since Trevin Giles. Now you might go, why the fuck would you be on DDP? That's totally fair. But that was one of my first cards that I ever watched, and it was him. He had a fun style. He'd run forward, and he'd try and take your fucking head off, and he KO'd Trevin Giles in that matchup. I've been on DDP ever since. In the 205 division, I had 2 hype trains. I had Vitor Petrino, not gone that great, and I had Magomed Gadzhimagomedov. You will see that guy back in the UFC soon. I promise you, he is a monster and he is a killer. Trust me, he will be back. And in the heavyweight division, I had Sergey Pavlovich and I had Talison Teixeira. So I've had something great. And the 125 division, I didn't do that yet, is Andre Lima and Loner Kavanov. Just saying. I've had some great success. It's pretty much 3 champions, John Silva, Merab, DDP. This is my newest hype train, Bagdasar Surzakayev. He's the better fighter everywhere, and he's fought the good level competition. Next fight, we have Gerald Meerschaert against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I don't mind Gerald Meerschaert. I know he has no striking, But Gerald Meerschaert can get a takedown. He can drag it to the ground. He has great transitions on the ground for his scrambles and his submissions. He has great submissions. Mikhail Jacek, I don't know like how good he is, to be honest. I know he's training with the Fighting Nerds, which is one of my favorite gyms. But he just went out there and he fought Tadrika's dumbass. And if you don't know about Tadrika's dumbass, he's a dumbass. Anyways, Mikhail Jacek's the way better fighter, in my opinion. He's the better striker. He has better cardio. He's younger. Mikhail Jacek, in my opinion, is taking his UFC career more serious now. There's that little aspect after he lost to Sharabullah Magomedov that he just tried to curl up in a ball and I'm training in my garage now. But he's actually with the Fighting Nerds now. I love it for him. He's dropping down in a weight class. I love Michael Jacek in this matchup. I think he KOs Gerald Meerschaert. That's my prediction. Next fight, we have King Green against Diego Ferreira. King Green is a vet in this division. He's fought some of the toughest prospects coming out of the UFC. He has that loose hood boxing style, keeps his hands down by his knees, and he loves to move his head and see how you throw to try and counter you. He likes to throw punches from different angles and weird angles, and that's how King Green fights. Diego Ferreira is a complete fighter. They're both pretty old, but he's a complete fighter. He can do both. He has different paths to victory. Diego Ferreira has great jiu-jitsu, has pretty good hands, and I do expect him to get the win here over Bobby Green. If he wants to take him down and hold him there, he can. If he wants to strike, I believe he can. Give me Diego Ferreira in this matchup. Moving on to the main card, we have Tim Elliott against Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott, old guy. We just found out that his wife was fucking his best friend on their wedding date. Or some shit like that. Some fucked up shit like that. What the fuck? Did I just fucking hear? What the fuck am I even looking at? Tim Elliott, man. You gotta deal with that friend, bro, to be honest. You gotta go fucking give him that 1-2 fucking half Nelson type shot. I don't even know, bro. You gotta deal with that motherfucker, man. Anyways, I'm rooting for Tim Elliott here because that's just a fucked up story. Your fucking best friend fucking your wife on your wedding day. You probably can't get a worse day in your life, to be honest. Like, that is just brutal, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, we're going to get rid of the fucking personal bullshit. Tim Elliott, complete fighter. He has great submissions. His hands are not as great as they can be. But yeah, he's a good ground game. He has good pressure. He has good cardio. Tim Elliott's a decent guy. He's a live dog. He's an old dude, but he still has the gas tank and he has the submissions and wrestling. Kai Sakura, very, very good on the feet. We saw him in his last fight against Alessandro Pantoja. It's Alessandro Pantoja. You can't say anything. The guy's pretty much the GOAT of the featherweight of the flyweight division. Sorry, what the fuck am I saying? Kai Sakura, very good on the feet. He has great knees. Kai Sakura. He has great hands. Where he lacks is the wrestling. Can Tim Elliott get this guy down to the ground in the first round? If he can, I think he's very live to win this matchup. If he can't, Kai Sakura is going to touch him up. He's going to make him tired. And Kai Sakura is going to win this fight by KO or decision. It's going to be a good fight, very underrated fight in my opinion. And I have Kai Sakura in the matchup. Next fight, we have the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, against Michael Venom Page. Very good fight. Very good matchmaking right here. Jared Cannonier, we know who this guy is. He loves to come forward, and he loves to brawl. Jared Cannonier, he's fought every single person in this 185 division. He's a very entertaining fighter, guys. Jared Cannonier knows what he's doing in there, and he fights whoever is put in front of him, and I respect him for that. He is fighting MVP. MVP has the most awkward, unique style you will ever witness inside an octagon. He stands 20 feet away from his opponent, and he lunges in with that straight right, and he fucking connects. MVP is something different. I used to be an MVP hater when he came into the UFC. I wasn't big on these guys coming into the UFC. This guy has shut me the fuck up. He's won every single match apart from Ian Gary. And Ian Gary said he was going to strike with him, and he didn't because he couldn't. Michael Venom Page is susceptible to wrestlers. Is Jared Cannonier going to wrestle here? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But if he does, I'm not surprised because he cannot hang on the feet. I do have MVP in this matchup because MVP is just a way better fighter, the way better striker, the faster striker. He has better cardio. In a 3-round fight, I got MVP. I love that bet. I love that pick. Give me Michael Venom Page. Next fight, we have Jeff Neal against Carlos the Nightmare Prates. Jeff Neal, Jeff Hands of Steel Neal. Name speaks for itself. He has huge power. He has good clinch game along the fence. Jeff Neal, he's fought kind of the who's who of the division as well. He's fought Michael Morales. He's fought Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's fought all these guys that are really good. And now he fights another one in Carlos Prates out of the Fighting Nerds. That is my favorite gym. They produce all the best fighters, in my opinion. John Silva. I am a glazer of John Silva. Whenever you see him, I'm picking him. I don't give a fuck who he's fighting. Anyways, Jeff Neal, great hands, great straight left with his southpaw stance. Jeff Neal is clean in the boxing. He has clean kicks as well, and he's underrated grappling. Now, I think he's going to stand and bang with Carlos Prates, and I don't think that is the right thing to do. I think Carlos Prates' striking is one of one. Carlos Prates' teep kicks and knees up the middle are absolutely superb. He has an amazing left straight, like a laser down the pipe. Carlos Prates is my pick in this matchup. I think he KOs Jeff Neal, and I think he advances to a harder fight. Next fight, we have Lerone Murphy against Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico coming in from the PFL. Everybody's talking about him. Does this ring bells? Because it ring bells for me. Patchy Mix is one of the best 145-pounders in the world. He's going to come into the UFC and he's going to beat Mario Bautista by submission. And what did he do in that fight? He got fucking his head bounced back every single fucking second of the fight. Patchy Mix, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, but if you are, you're a fucking bum. You're a bum. Anyways, Aaron Pico, he has great wrestling. He has great striking. That's all I can really say about him. Lerone Murphy, good fighter. He's very clean. He's very technical. He doesn't take any risks. Lerone Murphy's a better fighter. I think he wins by decision. If he's an underdog, it's crazy. I'm betting him. Last fight, we have Dricus du Plessis against Khamzat Boris Chimaev. Man, I love DDP, man. He's my guy. I got to root with him here. This is the same breakdown as you hear from everybody. If DDP can survive the first 2 rounds, he will win later on. If he can't, Chimaev wins by sub. That's how it is, guys. Thank you for watching this breakdown. Hope I made you smarter. Hope I made you smarter, and I hope I made you some money. Appreciate it.